Hello students, today we are going to discuss on a part that is pregnancy. In the earlier video, we have seen the embryonic development, how a zygote undergo different stages that form the morula, then after that blastocyst, and after that we have seen the formation of all the germ layers by a process called gastrulation. So in that part we have seen how actually all the things that are going on, how many changes occurs in the fetus we have seen. Now we'll see the pregnancy. See, first of all, what is pregnancy? Pregnancy means it is the time from the conception up to birth. From the conception up to birth, this period is called as the pregnancy period. That means whenever the fetus gets implanted, then after that the processes will go on in the fetus as well as in the maternal body. Lots of hormonal changes will occur, lots of development processes will occur in the baby, and after that the whole process completes, the formation of organ system, etc. So all these things that will be included in the pregnancy. In case of human, what is the time period? The time period is around 9 months, and that can vary person to person, so that's why we'll take 7 days earlier or before. So what happens in case of pregnancy, as it is 9-month period, so that's why the whole pregnancy is divided into 3 parts. So we will take the 3 months of each of the stages, so that are divided into first to third month, that is first trimester. Then after that 4th month to 6th month, it is the second trimester, and after that from 6 months up to the birth, up to parturition, that is the third trimester. So whole these processes, that whole time period, that is divided into 3 trimester. So we have first trimester, then the second trimester, and the last one is the third trimester. So the time period, what is the time period for first trimester, second trimester, and the third trimester? See, from first month, that means from the time of conception, up to third month, it is the first trimester. Then the second trimester, that will be 4th up to 6th month. Then from the 6th, or we can call from that 7th month up to the process of parturition, that process, that whole time period, that is the third trimester. So the first, second, and the third trimester, what are the changes that will occur? We have seen this chart. So see, first of all, what happened? Some of the points here are very much important. So as you can see, what happens? I told in the embryonic development that in the process of gastrulation, first of all, the epiblastic cell that form the streak-like structure, which is known as the primitive streak. So whenever primitive streak was formed, suppose this is the primitive streak. So from the primitive streak, what happened? For the first time, the heart is developed. So this way, heart will be developed and it will start also beating. Now next one, the first month we will see the heart development. The heart is the first organ to be formed in the fetus body. So this is very much important. First month the heart will be formed and it will also start functioning. Next one, the second month, what are the things that will happen? First of all, the limbs will be developed and those limbs will get digitized. Means that first of all, from that baby, from that fetus, the limbs will be developed. Maybe that will be both the forelimbs and the hind limbs. So that limbs, first of all, that limbs are like this, and after that those limbs that will develop the digits. So actually what happens, some of the cells, suppose here some of the cells, some of the tissue get degenerated, and after that it will form the digits. So that are what happened in the in the second month. In the third month, what happened? Number of systems, organ system like circulatory system, then excretory system, lots of systems, the digestive system, respiratory system, lots of organs have been formed, and those organs that are forming the organ system that will occur in the third month. In the third month also, the external genitals, it may be both the male baby and for the female baby, the external genitals will be seen. Now in the fifth month, what happens? For the first time, the mother experiences the movement. So this question also came in NEET as well as in AIMS, that when the first movement will be actually experienced by the mother, that will be around 5 months. In the 5-month period, the first movement of the baby will be experienced. In the 6 months, what happened? The baby start to develop the hair that will be on the head as well as on the body. The eyelashes will be formed, eyelids will be formed. So that are what happened in the 6th month. And at the last time period, in the 7th or 8th month, actually what happened? All the organ and the organ system that will start to coordinate in between themselves. Then after that, those organ system will start to work actually, and at the 9-month period, when the baby completely get developed, then after that the process of parturition will take place. And in that process of parturition, the baby actually need to have complete development of the hormonal control as well as the nervous control. So that's why all the organ systems that will be coordinated and starts functioning in the last month of the pregnancy. That means in the third trimester, at the time period of 8 to 9 months, all the organ system that will start to completely get functional and start to work. At the 9-month period, whenever all the things, all the organ system, they are completely get developed, after that the process of parturition will take place. Before that, in the pregnancy, we have to see how this placenta works. What is placenta? What is umbilical cord? What are the functions of placenta? How many parts of placenta will start to work? We'll see now. Now, let us see the structure of the baby that is growing in the mother's womb. First of all, this is the structure. First of all, see, I have shown here, this is the uterus where the baby is growing. First of all, you can see here, these are the that green colored lining I'm showing. These are actually the chorionicvilli. So I have told you that how this chorionicvilli were formed. From where actually the chorionicvilli were formed? The chorionicvilli were formed actually from the trophoblastic cell layer. Now the next one, that is this blue colored lining, that is the chorion. This chorion is actually a extra-embryonic membrane. Now the next one, you can see that black colored lining. That black colored lining actually is the innermost lining where it covers the liquid, and that liquid is the amniotic fluid, and that amniotic fluid is covered by it is covered by the chorion, the another extra-embryonic membrane, and inside there is another membrane is present, that is the amnion. So this amnion covers the amniotic fluid as well as the baby, where the baby will grow. Now you can see another very small structure here. So what is that sac-like structure we have seen? This is actually the yolk sac. So what is the function of the yolk sac? That the yolk sac actually do not have any function, or it is in the rudimentary state in case of human. But if you see in case of other organisms like reptiles as well as in case of apes, they have very important function, as the baby gets all the nutrients from the yolk sac only. But what happens in case of human? As human development is actually placental. That means right from the placenta, baby gets the nutrients and all the necessary things like gases and all that will be actually come from the mother's blood, and it will be exchanged to the baby's blood. So it will be by means of the placenta. So what actually is the placenta? Let me tell you, this placenta have three different parts. So what are those? So you can see here, this is actually the placenta. The whole structure is the placenta. So placenta is not only by the fetus or by the mother or the maternal side the placenta will be formed. Actually it is not like that. Placenta development, it's actually both from the fetal stage as well as from the maternal side. So what happened? The endometrium of the mother as well as the trophoblastic cell layer from the fetus develop the placenta. Placenta have dual origin, both the fetal and the maternal. Now just see, the many of the time the students get confused in between the placenta and umbilical cord. So what is the placenta and the umbilical cord? Actually, see, the whole structure is the placenta, and there is a connection between the fetus and the placenta also. What is that? That is the umbilical cord. So here this structure, you can see this one, this structure is the umbilical cord only. So from the umbilical cord, the baby gets all the nutrients from the placenta, from the mother's body. Now just see this placenta, if I need to tell you that what exactly the placenta would be, so that placenta will have three parts. So in case of humans, suppose this is the structure, I have not drawn the complete baby here, this is the baby, here this is also the baby. So you can see these are the chorionicvilli, this is the chorionicvilli, and this chorionicvilli actually form just in one region. This is present just like a disc-like structure, but earlier whenever the baby is just get attached and just at the time period of only 1 month or something, that same time, what happened, the whole structure will be covered by chorionicvilli, but gradually that chorionicvilli will start to degenerate and it will be present in only some regions, like only here it will be present. So what happened, these are the chorionicvilli and this is the fetus. Now just see what is that placenta. So this placenta have three regions. First of all, just see this red lining here. This is also the red lining, and here also this is the red lining. This is also part of the placenta. So what is that part? This is known as decidua basilis. So this decidua basilis is actually one part of the placenta which is maternal. Maternal means it is actually the endometrium layer of the mother. So this is endometrial in origin. So this is endometrial in origin. So this is actually maternal. So this is the decidua basilis. Here you can see the another lining, this blue colored lining. What is that? This is known as the decidua parietalis. So what is the decidua parietalis? This is actually the layer. This is also the layer which is present surrounding the baby, as well as see here, suppose it is present other than the chorionicvilli. Suppose here only the chorionicvilli is present. So other than the chorionicvilli, this region and this region, that will be known as the decidua parietalis. So this is also a part of the placenta which actually surrounds the baby or surrounds the baby, but other than this chorionicvilli. So this is known as the decidua parietalis. See, this is the part of placenta except the region of chorionicvilli. So this is the decidua parietalis, and you can see the another lining. This is this green colored lining which is surrounding the whole baby. So what is that? This is the decidua capsularis. So What is this decidua capsularis? This capsularis means here even in the word it is given capsule. Capsule means it is holding, it is surrounding the baby. So what happened? This fetus will be surrounded by a layer. This is known as the decidua capsularis. So this is actually the layer between the fetus and the uterine lumen. So this uterine lining and the fetus, in between them also they will have a layer. What is that known as? This is known as the decidua capsularis. So what is that layer? This is the region in between the fetus and uterine lumen. So this is known as the decidua capsularis. So you can see here, this is the placenta. So this placenta have three regions basically. What are they? Decidua capsularis, decidua parietalis. This is the decidua capsularis, this is the decidua parietalis, and decidua basilis is this red colored lining. So here in this all three words you have seen that the word decidua is present. Decidua, what is the decidua? The word decidua means which falls off. Falls off means the baby will be actually nourished, get attached to the mother's endometrium with the help of the placenta itself. But whenever the baby completely get matured and it get parturited, that means after the birth, what will happen to the placenta? The placenta will be also expelled outside. So whenever it will be expelled outside, actually it will be falled off. In case of human, the placenta also comes out whenever the baby get parturited. Right after the parturition, the placenta get fall off and it comes outside the mother's body. So that is known as the decidua. So in case of human, the human placenta is decidual in nature. Decidual in nature, that means the baby, whenever it get parturited, within 1 hour, that means within half an hour, the placenta will also get detached from the body and it will just shed from the uterine lining. So that is the placenta. Now just see what are the main functions of the placenta. This placenta help in number of functions. So what are those functions? First function, so I will write here. So what are the functions of placenta? First of all, what is the function? It is providing nutrition. Nutrition means the mother, whenever the mother eats any type of food material, first of all it will get digested, and whenever it is getting digested, the intestine will absorb. That means the blood will absorb the already digested molecules and it will be in the form of the micronutrients, that will be like all glucose, amino acid, fatty acid, glycerol, like that. So already absorbed food that is in the blood of the mother, that will come to the fetal blood via the placenta. So first of all, the placenta will take all the nutrients that is actually in the biomolecule micronutrient form. So first of all, from the mother's blood, suppose just take this is the placenta. So first of all, maternal blood will take all the nutrients, and after that the fetal blood will take the nutrients from the maternal blood. So it will be just exchanged. Maternal blood do not enter into the fetal body. So fetal blood is completely different, maternal blood is completely different. Maternal blood will take the biomolecules and fetal blood will just absorb the nutrients from the maternal blood. Suppose this is the maternal blood vessel, it will take the biomolecule and fetal blood will take the all the nutrients from the maternal blood. Second important function. What is the next function? That is respiration. That means in case of the fetus also, they require the gases, oxygen, that will be very much essential for its own growth. So the maternal blood, whenever it is carrying the nutrients, it will also take the oxygen. So oxygen, suppose it is coming from the maternal blood, the fetal blood will take the oxygen, and the carbon dioxide, whenever carbon dioxide is actually removed by the baby, that will be taken up by the maternal blood vessel. So what happens, this maternal blood vessel will take up the gases also. So the next function, what is the next function of the placenta? That function is excretion. See, after taking the nutrients, the baby will take it will take all of its nutrients. After that, it will produce the waste material. So where those nitrogenous waste product will go? So nitrogenous waste product will actually come from this from the fetal placenta, and this waste product will be taken up by the maternal placenta. Then maternal blood vessel will take up the waste material of the fetus itself, and later on the kidney of the mother will separate out, will first of all filter out the waste product of the fetus also, as well as the mother herself also. And the kidney of the mother will filter out, will take or excrete both the fetal waste product as well as her own waste product from the kidney. So it is having another function also, excretion. So placenta itself will remove the waste product. Next, very much important function, that is the placenta will act as a barrier. So what is actually the barrier? See, suppose the maternal blood have, or the maternal body have, suppose some infection, suppose she have some bacterial infection, then what happened? Lots of pathogen will start to increase in the blood. As we already know that the mother, if she is suffering from any type of disease, it will go directly into the blood. So blood will have all those pathogens, foreign particles, everything. So what happened? The placenta will actually act as a barrier, where from the placenta those pathogen bacteria will not able to come to the fetal blood. But then also we have a problem that those micro pathogens, lots of particles are also such like they are not able to be protected by the placenta. Sometimes those viruses, actually the viruses will be not be protected. So virus can come from the maternal blood to the fetal blood, like HIV, then rubella virus. This type of viruses will enter into the maternal from the maternal blood to the fetal blood, it can come. So if the mother is suffering from HIV, the baby will also suffer from the same disease, HIV/AIDS. But there are some type of drugs are available now which can actually prevent the entry of those virus like HIV, and it will be like that. Whenever the mother using those drugs, the baby will not gonna suffer from the same disease. We have lots of elements, lots of chemicals like nicotine, cocaine, morphine, this type of drugs, addictive drugs. Those type of drugs, if the mother is taking, then also the placenta cannot stop entering inside the fetal blood. So those type of things, cocaine or morphine or any type of drugs, addictive drugs, if the mother is taking, or she suppose somehow have this drug addiction like nicotine, cigarette smoking also, then those type of chemicals can enter into the fetal blood. We have also one important thing that was seen in Japan, that what happened, that mercury actually is a element which is also transplacental. So if that somehow enter inside the maternal blood, lead enter into lead or mercury, any type of elements, this type of heavy elements, if it enters, then what happened, the placenta cannot stop. So it will enter inside the fetus body, and after that the fetus will start to develop some abnormalities, like the digits will be not properly developed, the digits if it is developed also, it develops some flipper like structure, it will develop some fin like structure, the organ system will be not completely developed, the hearing impartment can be seen, the nose, the eye cannot be properly developed, this type of things will be seen. So lead that was entering inside the fetus body, and that actually was a disease in Japan. For the first time it was seen, that is the Minamata disease. So what is it? This is actually the placenta who act as a barrier, but also this barrier cannot be for all kinds of pathogen like viruses, chemical, addictive components that will enter inside the fetal body. The placenta cannot stop. Placenta will stop to a certain limit, like some bacteria, large pathogen will not able to enter inside. Now, very much important thing, another function of the placenta that will provide immunity. See what happened. For immunity, we have numbers of antibodies in our blood. After birth, right after the birth, we will not develop immunity. So what happened? We have different type of antibodies, and from those antibodies, IgG, immunoglobulin G, is the smallest, which is transplacental. So what happened? Those IgG, remember IgG, this is the smallest antibody which is transplacental. That means from the mother, the baby will get the immunoglobulin G because of its smallest size, and whenever the baby will born, at that time baby will suddenly get exposed to all the pathogens. So for that time period, the baby will actually fight against those pathogens with the help of only that mother's IgG or immunoglobulin G. But we also should know that this IgG is not for whole life. Within 6 months it will get degenerated and the baby will produce its own. So those are actually immunoglobulins. These are nothing but actually only proteins. So those protein will get degenerated after some time. So later on, whenever the baby will actually develop its own immunity, within that time period, the mother's and immunoglobulin G will actually protect the baby from all the pathogens. So these are the different functions of the placenta we have seen. Now just see the types of placenta. In case of human, what type of placenta it can be. Just see the type of placenta. So what happened? In case of human, the placenta can be of 3 types. First of all, it is metadiscoidal. Metadiscoidal means, see, first of all, whenever the baby get attached to the mother's womb, it develop the chorionicvilli. So first of all, the chorionicvilli will surround the whole structure, the whole fetus. But gradually, the chorionicvilli will be restricted to only one area, and that is only to a disc-like region. So that's why it is known as the metadiscoidal type of placenta. That means the chorionicvilli, the villi shape into a disc-like structure. So this is known as the metadiscoidal type of placenta. Next one, the second one, that is hemochorial. Hemochorial means, as we have seen from the word itself, hemo, that means blood. So what happened? The blood vessels of the baby, actually the fetus, whenever it is growing, the placenta gets entering inside the maternal blood vessel. So those chorionicvilli will develop the finger-like projection until it gets attached to the maternal blood vessel. Once the maternal blood vessel is reached, then after that it stops. So the chorionicvilli which get actually develop the finger-like projection, that will be up to it reach the blood vessel. So the placenta which is dipped into blood that is called as the hemochorial type of placenta. That means the chorionic villi, whenever it actually develop a finger-like projection, whenever it get implanted, so those chorionic villi will actually go develop, then it will go on forwarding its finger-like projections until it touch the blood vessel. So that type of placenta is known as hemochorial type of placenta. So the third type, already I told you, that is deciduous type of placenta. That means the placenta, whenever the baby completely get developed and parturited outside, that type of placenta, that whole placenta, both fetal as well as the maternal, that placenta will just comes outside. So that placenta which fall off after parturition, that type of placenta is known as deciduous. In some cases, like some other organisms, some type of other, even vertebrates, even in mammals also, the whole placenta will not get detached. Sometimes it can be taken by the uterus itself. So in case of those organisms, the placenta will not fall off, but in case of human, the whole placenta will fall off after parturition. So that type of placenta is known as deciduous type of placenta. So these are the different types of placenta I have told you. Now just see a very important question that also come, that the placenta act as an endocrine gland. Explain what is that. So what happen in case of placenta? See, this placenta, though it helps in all the functions like nutrition, providing nourishment, then providing the gases, take out all the waste material, excretion, then it helps in providing the passive immunity, act as a barrier, all of these things. The placenta also releases a number of hormones, and because of that, actually the placenta is called as a endocrine gland only. But this is not a permanent endocrine gland, this is a temporary endocrine gland. Already you have seen in the earlier first year chapter, last chapter. So what happened in case of placenta that act as a endocrine gland? See, this is a very important question asked a lot of time in exam, that placenta act as a endocrine gland. What is the reason of the placenta to be called as an endocrine gland? That it releases a number of hormones. See, what are those hormones? The placenta, whenever suppose the fetus get attached to the mother's womb, the fetus, the trophoblastic cell layer, whenever it get attached, then the trophoblastic cell layer, it releases a hormone that is called as HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. Remember, this is known as the human chorionic gonadotropin. So this is the human chorionic gonadotropin which gives the stimulation to the corpus luteum, so that for the complete development of the placenta, that corpus luteum can release the hormone progesterone. So this is the first hormone, that is HCG, that is released by the placenta. Whenever it gets completely formed, it will also release placenta. It will release the hormone HCG. Second one, another hormone that is chorionic thyrotropin. So thyrotropin is actually a hormone which actually helps the baby to develop all the organs, the basal metabolic rate, all of these things that will be actually completely maintained functionally by the chorionic thyrotropin that will be released by placenta. Next one, chorionic corticotropin. So corticotropin hormone that will be also released by the placenta. Next one, chorionic somatomamotropin. This is now also called as HPL, human placental lactogen. This hormone is released also by the placenta, which actually help the mammary gland to get lobulated and develop all the alveoli and the ducts for the development of the mammary gland. And also we should know that whenever the mother is already in the state of 5 or 6 month of period, at that time actually the mammary gland completely get developed, and sometime it release also milk. So that is with the help of this chorionic somatomamotropin or human placental lactogen. Next one, the estrogen and progesterone hormone. They are very much important for the attachment of the baby with the endometrium. So estrogens and progesterone hormone, that will be also released by the placenta itself. So you can see the hormonal regulation in the pregnancy time period. What is that? Let us see here itself. First of all, if I draw a graph here in small diagram, I am showing it. Hope all of you will see. So this is the first trimester, this is the second trimester, and this is the third trimester. So just see what happened. So this is the uterus. Here this is the ovary. So in the ovary the corpus luteum is there, and here the baby get implanted here in the uterus. So just see what happened. First of all, this hormone HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin hormone, it is released from whom? It is released first of all from the fetus, from the actually the trophoblastic cell layer. So this human chorionic gonadotropin, that will be released from the fetal body, and that is in a very high amount on the first trimester itself. But human chorionic gonadotropin will have less function whenever the placenta will start to function properly. So in that later period, in the second trimester and the third trimester, the placenta will decrease the release of this HCG hormone. Second hormone, that is estrogen and progesterone. See, first of all, estrogen and progesterone, both these two hormones will be released by the ovary as well as the placenta. So estrogen will be very less in the first trimester, and gradually it will start to increase, and in the third trimester it will be in maximum. So first of all, this hormone, this estrogen hormone, will be released from the ovary as well as the placenta. This hormone, that is HCG hormone, that is released by the placenta itself. Next one, the third hormone, that is progesterone hormone. Progesterone hormone is released first of all by the corpus luteum, but gradually whenever the placenta get formed, then the placenta will start releasing the hormone, that is progesterone. So first of all, the corpus luteum will release the progesterone hormone, and whenever it get suppose placenta get completely formed, then the placenta will start to release its own progesterone. So estrogen and progesterone level will be maximum on the third trimester, but until the pregnancy period will be completed. But whenever the parturition process will be started, at that time suddenly the estrogen and progesterone level will fall, and whenever it will fall, actually the process of parturition will take place. Actually, what was the function of both these two hormones? One is estrogen and progesterone, that help the baby for so that help actually the baby for its attachment with the uterus. So what happened, if it get attached to the uterus, then the parturition process will not take place. So parturition process will take only in that period of time whenever estrogen and progesterone level will fall off. So parturition will be induced by the decreased level of estrogen and progesterone, and after that we'll see the process of parturition. So this way we have completed the whole process of pregnancy and the placenta, its function, types of placenta, functions of placenta, even the hormonal regulation of the pregnancy. In the next video, we'll see parturition process. Thank you.